Ever been trapped in a moment that feels strangely familiar? Like life is repeating itself. Tonight, we decode the mystery. This is Mind Decoder. Déjà vu is one of the strangest experiences the human mind can create. It strikes suddenly, leaving you with the eerie conviction that what you are living now has already happened before. A conversation, a place, or even the way light falls on a room can trigger it. And in an instant, you feel caught in a loop of time. The sensation is so real that it unsettles even the most rational person. Psychologists estimate that 2 out of every 3 people experience déjà vu at least once in their lifetime, most often during adolescence or early adulthood. Though fleeting, usually lasting only a few seconds, its emotional impact can linger much longer. Some describe it as thrilling, others as deeply unsettling, almost like a glitch in the matrix. Déjà vu captures our attention, precisely because it blurs the boundary between memory, perception, and reality. Scientists have long tried to explain why déjà vu happens, and the first theories date back to the 19th century. Early thinkers suggested it was a supernatural event, a brief glimpse into a past life or evidence of reincarnation. Others claimed it was simply fatigue or stress, a tired brain making mistakes. With the rise of modern psychology, researchers began studying it as a cognitive phenomenon rather than a mystical one. They noticed it was more common in people with active imaginations, or those who travel frequently and see new environments. The familiarity often arises not because you've been somewhere before, but because the brain is trying to match the present with something similar stored in memory. This mismatch creates the illusion of repetition. In this sense, déjà vu is less about reliving the past and more about how our brains struggle to interpret the present. At the heart of déjà vu lies the brain's memory system. Memory is not like a perfect recording. Instead, it is a reconstruction. Each time we recall something, the brain rebuilds it from fragments, and sometimes those fragments overlap with new experiences. When the brain mistakenly files the present moment as a past memory, déjà vu occurs. This explains why it feels so convincing. The brain is literally tagging the now as if it already belongs in your history. Studies suggest the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory formation, plays a major role. If signals between memory circuits misfire for even a fraction of a second, it can result in that flash of false familiarity. Déjà vu, therefore, may not be evidence of anything mystical at all, but simply the brain's error in processing information at lightning speed. Another critical region involved in déjà vu is the temporal lobe. Neurologists studying epilepsy discovered that electrical stimulation in this area can trigger déjà vu experiences in patients. This finding suggests that déjà vu might be linked to abnormal activity in the brain's recognition system. Even in healthy individuals, minor disturbances in the temporal lobe could cause the sensation of reliving a moment. This does not mean déjà vu is dangerous. It simply shows how sensitive the brain is to tiny shifts in activity. Researchers also believe the brain has a built-in system for checking memory accuracy. Like a quality control process, when this system falters, it can create a false alarm, convincing us that the present is the past. The temporal lobe theory is one of the strongest scientific explanations, showing that déjà vu is deeply connected to the mechanics of memory and perception. But not all explanations for déjà vu are strictly scientific. Some psychologists propose that dreams may play a role. Many people have dreams so detailed that fragments of them are forgotten until something in waking life matches the imagery. When that moment arrives, the brain may confuse the dream memory with a lived one, producing the eerie sense of repetition. Another idea is that déjà vu occurs when the subconscious mind processes a situation slightly faster than conscious awareness. By the time the conscious brain catches up, it feels as though the moment has already occurred. Both theories highlight the brain's complexity. How much happens beneath the surface of awareness? dreams, and subconscious processing remind us that we are never fully in control of our perceptions. Déjà vu could be a brief glimpse into those hidden layers of mental activity, where time flows differently. Beyond science, déjà vu has always carried mystical and spiritual meanings. In many cultures, it is seen as proof of reincarnation, the idea that we have lived before, and déjà vu is evidence of a memory from a past life resurfacing. Others interpret it as a psychic warning, a sign that the universe is nudging you to pay attention. In the modern age, some link it to the concept of the multiverse, suggesting déjà vu occurs when parallel realities briefly overlap, and you feel the echo of your other self. These interpretations may lack scientific support, but they reveal something important. Humans crave meaning. We do not simply accept glitches. We search for purpose in them, whether mystical or scientific. Déjà vu forces us to ask big questions about fate, destiny, and the nature of reality itself. Cultural stories about déjà vu vary widely, reflecting the values and beliefs of different societies. In Japan, for example, déjà vu is often linked to spiritual connections with ancestors. In parts of Africa, it is seen as a sign of heightened awareness or a gift from the spirits. In Western traditions, particularly during the 19th century, it was tied to romantic ideas of soulmates and destinating someone and feeling you've known them forever. These cultural interpretations may not align with neuroscience, but they show how universal the experience is. No matter where you are from, the shock of déjà vu feels significant, as if the universe itself is whispering a secret. Such beliefs enrich the mystery, blending science with spirituality, and remind us that the human mind is not only a biological organ, but also a storyteller, weaving meaning into every sensation. Modern research has taken déjà vu from the realm of superstition to laboratory study. Using virtual reality, scientists have been able to simulate déjà vu by creating digital environments that mirror each other subtly. Participants walking through these spaces often reported the feeling of familiarity, even though they had never seen them before. Brain imaging has also revealed spikes of activity in memory regions during déjà vu episodes. These experiments suggest it is not a random event but a reproducible phenomenon that can be studied scientifically. Yet, despite this progress, there are still many unanswered questions. Why do some people experience déjà vu more frequently than others? Why does it peak in youth and fade with age? Research continues, but the deeper we probe, the more we realize that déjà vu resists simple explanation. Sitting at the crossroads of science and mystery, what makes déjà vu so powerful is not just the sensation itself, but the emotions it stirs. People often describe it as unsettling, even profound. In those few seconds, the brain convinces you that you are reliving reality, and that conviction shakes your trust in perception. Some find it comforting, a reminder of hidden connections in life, while others fear it signals something wrong with the brain. Interestingly, déjà vu often happens during ordinary moments, a casual conversation, walking into a room, hearing a phrase. Perhaps this is why it is so striking. The extraordinary hidden inside the everyday. The emotions tied to déjà vu give it weight far beyond its brief duration. It reminds us that reality is not just seen, but felt, and that even a passing glitch in memory can stir questions about time, existence, and truth itself. In the end, déjà vu remains one of the mind's most fascinating mysteries. Science offers strong theories: memory errors, temporal lobe misfires, subconscious processing. None can fully capture why the experience feels so profound. Spiritual and cultural beliefs add layers of meaning, suggesting past lives, destiny, or glimpses into other realities. Perhaps déjà vu is all of these things at once, a biological glitch wrapped in human imagination. What is certain is that it forces us to confront the fragile nature of perception. Reality is not a fixed truth, but a construction, vulnerable to error and open to interpretation. In that brief flicker of déjà vu, we are reminded that time, memory, and consciousness are far stranger than we realize. The mystery may never be solved completely, but maybe that's the point. Some questions exist not to be answered, but to keep us wondering.